everyone. Welcome to episode 36 of PIV's NXT Point of View podcast. My name is Bill Pivets. Before we get started, follow me on Twitter at bpiv_sports. Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Podbean, anywhere else you guys get your podcast. Rate, review, help me out. Podcast will be posted on YouTube as well, so you can listen to it there if you don't have any podcast services on your phone, tablet, wherever you guys listen to it. So this week's episode started with highlights of the Battle Royal from last week. Apollo Crews won that, which means he will be the number one contender for Finn Balor's NXT Championship. My stream, for some reason, wasn't working properly on my PS4, so I had to switch over to my laptop, and I was still getting a little bit of lag on it. And I read online that other people were getting this kind of lag too. So just bear with me if my description of the matches are a little short, because that's all I was able to see, is what my stream showed. So the first match was Asuka versus Billie Kay. Asuka made her entrance first. They aired a promo from Kay, like the split screen stuff like they used to do back in the day as she was making her entrance. Asuka went for a handshake, but Billie Kay kicked her and then began her turn on offense. She landed a delayed suplex. Asuka kicked out of the following pin. She later broke free of an arm drag and began her kicking barrage, which began an Asuka City chant. She caught Billie Kay off the ropes into an armbar. A little later, she connected with a German suplex. Some people tried starting a Suplex City chant, but it didn't get off the ground. Not much later, she locked in the body scissors chicken wing combination, or she calls it the Asuka lock, and got the win. Billie Kay, first off, she actually got an entrance, and so did someone later that we've seen in a jobber role, so maybe they are implementing them into the women's division in NXT. But it was nice to see them actually get entrance, not just be in the ring when the show began. It was a decent match. Just another great showing from Asuka. She's very fun to watch. Just her fluid motions going from submission to submission. Her kicks are dangerous, kind of just like Daniel Bryan. Like I said, it was an entertaining opening match, kind of featuring Asuka, but also gave Billie Kay some offense as well before Asuka made her comeback. Fans got invested into that. So I don't know if they're going to have Kay play the heel role in her matches, or it was just for this match against Asuka. But a good match nonetheless. We then got advertised that Rhino versus Baron Corbin will be the main event of tonight. Kind of had a meh reaction when I heard that. I wasn't too excited. We've kind of seen this match before, so it wasn't. I mean, it was a good follow-up, obviously, with Baron Corbin eliminating Rhino from the Battle Royal last week. But I think they could have went with something a little different. We then got a Baron Corbin vignette, something similar to what we've seen in the past. Him walking in the rainy, dark alleys, just talking about whatever he was talking about, kind of tuned out. Tyler Breeze then cut a selfie promo addressing Samoa Joe that he thought he was guaranteed a number one contender shot because of winning the Dusty Classic, but Tyler Breeze took that away from him. And then he challenged Joe to a match. Second match of the night was Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy against Dash and Dawson. Obviously, Enzo and Cass made their usual entrance, but Enzo, when they were in the ring, said that Halloween's right around the corner, and they ain't giving out trick-or-treatings, they're giving out beatings. I like that one a lot. Topical, funny. He's the modern-day Road Dogg. Dash and Enzo started the match. The heels focused on Enzo's knee, similar to what they did to Finn Balor a couple weeks ago. Dawson locked Enzo in a side figure four leg lock for a little bit. Cass came in, broke up the submission, and Dawson knocked him off the apron, which allowed Enzo to roll him up and got the win. After the match, Dash and Dawson attacked Enzo. Cass came in trying to make the save, but then they turned their focus to him and left both men laying down. They actually, before that, they actually hit Cassidy with their flapjack codebreaker combination finisher, and then they left the ring. There wasn't much of a match. There's more a setup to the post-match attack. I think this is a way to write off Colin Cassidy for a little bit because I know he got injured. I'm not sure if it was on a house show or one of the tapings coming up, but he will be out of action for a little bit, so it was a decent way to set up that Colin Cassidy won't be around for a little while, and also gave some heat to Dash and Dawson, because what better way to get some heat than to attack the best tag team and the most favorite tag team in NXT. We then got a Rhino vignette. There was actually some sound bites from it from Paul Heyman, and we got some ECW footage. So a little different, but really nothing new from Rhino. Eva Marie was shown with a very, very low-cut shirt. She was still in France, so it's going to be a couple more weeks before we see her. Third match was Danny Burch against the debuting James Storm. Danny Burch made his entrance, and James Storm's music hit. It was like some country song. There was fire. Obviously, you put the two together, it's James Storm, but I completely forgot this is when he debuted. So when he came out, one, I was excited because I finally get to see him on NXT, and two, it was just little bit of surprise for me because I completely forgot. The fans were enjoying it. There was the one fan in the Finn Balor shirt that was just losing his fucking mind. It was a good reaction for him. I liked it. There was chants of "You belong here." Burch was on the offense to start the match. Storm made a comeback. He landed an atomic drop, clothesline, a couple other moves. He then landed a heel kick from the apron and then followed it up with a nice running neck breaker. He then hit the Eye of the Storm, or what they're calling the 8-second ride, and got the win. Danny Burch was then laying in the corner and Storm went up to him and yelled, "Sorry about your damn luck," after the match. So it was a nice debut, like I said. Got the NXT fans who don't know him acclimated to him, and the hardcore fans that know wrestling got to see James Storm in NXT, which is something I never thought would happen because of his age, NXT, and not wanting to sign all the old TNA guys. But they got Samoa Joe in there. They brought Rhino back, so why not bring James Storm as well? I'm just interested to see how much and what kind of deal James Storm made with NXT. If he's going to be doing a Samoa Joe kind of thing, it's every other week or whatever, or if he's going to be like Rhino, appearing more often. I heard that he's in a trainer role backstage as well, so a little bit of on-screen and behind the scenes for James Storm could be nice as well, because like I said, he's getting up there in age, so a main roster run might not be in the cards, but a nice little run on NXT, whether it's a feud with Samoa Joe, a feud with Finn Balor, Baron Corbin even, could be a nice run for James Storm in NXT. We then got advertised that Finn Balor will actually defend his NXT Championship against Apollo Crews in 2 weeks. One, I'm excited because that match is going to be awesome. Two, that means we're not going to get this match at TakeOver, which still sets up for the Finn Balor Samoa Joe plan that I talked about a couple weeks ago, whether it's Samoa Joe interfering or costing Finn Balor the match or whatever the case is, that this still could take place in London in December. We then got a nice Apollo Crews video package. In the middle of this, the old Monday Night Raw intro played, and it kind of threw me off for a minute because I was half paying attention to his promo, and I thought actually something happened in my stream, like I clicked on a 1993 episode of Raw. But I looked up, it was just him explaining how he got into wrestling, who his favorites were. He mentioned the Ultimate Warrior. Whether it's true or not, I'm not sure, considering all the stuff Ultimate Warrior has been a part of in the last 2 years. A little cynical of me to say that. Ultimate Warrior may well have been his favorite, but who knows. They actually said that part 2 of this will take place next week, kind of like what they did with Finn Balor leading up to the Japan title match, which is nice. It's a nice feature of Apollo Crews, just letting the fans know who he is, what he's about, that kind of thing. So it was a nice video package. I'm excited to see what part 2 is. Match number 4 was Alexa Bliss versus Peyton Royce. Like I said earlier, she was the other one who got an entrance, which is nice that they're giving these women entrances as well, kind of give them an idea of who they are, not just jobbers in the women's division. Bliss then focused on the left arm of Peyton. She came back with a nice kick and a couple drop kicks. She barely caught Bliss with an axe kick leading into the corner. Bliss put her hands up, but Royce's leg was nowhere near Alexa Bliss. Bliss came back with her moonsault double knee stomp and then the sparkle splash to win. So, just like the previous match, the previous women's match, obviously they're going to highlight the jobber a little bit, giving her some offense, but when the star that they're building around, in this case Alexa Bliss, needs obviously to get the win, she's going to make her come back at the end and get the win. But Alexa Bliss is good. I like her character, the stuck-up, better than you, prettier than you character that she's got going on, and it works well against Bayley. So those two, whether it's in a couple weeks or the TakeOver special in December, they should have a good match as well. It was then announced that Tyler Breeze and Samoa Joe will face next week, which led into our main event of Baron Corbin versus Rhino. Rhino actually began the match just all over Baron Corbin, landing punches, shoulder blocks, clotheslines. He landed a lot of them, in and out of the ring too. When they were both on the outside, Corbin took out Rhino, which almost led to a count-out win by Baron Corbin. But this led to a commercial break as Rhino was able to make it into the ring before the 10 count. Back from the break, Corbin was still in control. He landed 2 hard Irish whips into the corner, and then he was stomping on Rhino. He then caught Rhino with the spinning side slam, and the match spilled to the outside again. Rhino threw Corbin shoulder first into the steel steps and began his turn back on offense. He landed a spine buster and was setting up for the gore, but Corbin blocked it with a kick. He came back and connected with the gore this time, but Corbin was able to kick out, which the fans popped. The commentators couldn't believe it because very rarely does someone kick out of the gore. Fans started chanting one more time to Rhino to hit him with the gore again. He was setting up for it for a third time, but Corbin was able to catch him and turn it into the end of days to win. Like I said, it was a decent main event. I wasn't too excited about this match when it was announced, and I just feel like we've seen everything we can out of these two. Not together, but just in their arsenal of moves. Rhino's not much of doesn't have a long list of moves he does. Kicks, punches, side slams, belly to bellies, and then the gore. Similar to Baron Corbin as well. A lot of kicks. I mean, he stepped it up in the last couple months. His match against, I think it was Samoa Joe at TakeOver in Brooklyn. Yeah, his match against Samoa Joe, his couple matches against Finn Balor and whatnot. The tag team tournament matches that he had, especially with the Chad Gable and Jason Jordan. He definitely showcased some new moves there. But with these two together, they're really too similar that I really didn't care for the match. There wasn't anything eye-popping about this match. Maybe Corbin catching Rhino from the gore into the end of the days, but Rhino wasn't running that fast to begin with. So for me, it wasn't that impressive. Now, after the match, they cut to Joe, who was cut his own promo on Tyler Breeze. He said he called him a desperate man and that he accepts his match for next week. And that's how the show closed. So it was an average show, really nothing to go crazy about. I liked the Asuka match, and I liked a little bit more than the Alexa Bliss and Peyton Royce match. One, because I'm a big fan of Asuka. Her moves are great. She's very good in the ring, and she has a nice character. Like, granted, she can't talk English that well, but just her emotions, her body language, that creepy smile she does when she begins her comeback, it works for me. I like it a lot. James Storm, like I said, it was great to see him in a WWE ring. And the Enzo and Cass Dash Dawson match was more of an angle than a match itself. I'm just going to see where that leads to, whether it's an actual injury angle or just a number one contenders match, whatever the case is. There's obviously something building there. And you just heard my thoughts on the main event. I'm not going to go repeat myself again. But for next week, we have Samoa Joe versus Tyler Breeze and part 2 of the Apollo Crews video package. So that closes out episode 36 of Piv's NXT Point of View podcast. Episode 37 will be same time, same place. Follow me on Twitter at BPIV, P-I-V, _sports. Subscribe on iTunes, Podomatic, Podbean, Pod whatever, wherever you get your podcast. Also, follow this on YouTube as well. The video will be posted later on. So, enjoy the rest of your day, enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you next week. Peace.